The next part is to the next part now is to look at filters. Talking about filters is not too far from sorting. Sorting allows you to display all your data with your sorting criteria. But in case of filter, you can specify some criteria, and based on that criteria, the data is available. While the remaining data will be hidden from you. Filter allows you to see the data that is of interest to you at a particular point in time. Now let's go. Now if I go to data, and I have, by the side of sorting, I have filter here. Just click filter. You need to select it first. Filter. At the top here, the system introduces some drop down menu. That is, if I click on this, I have all the people there without repeating the names of any one of them. So if I want to see only brown records, I uncheck this, I go into this guy and do brown. It gives me only brown's record. Now if I want to release it, I go back there and click all. Now I want to pick Johnson. I have maybe Johnson and Jones. So I'll check the remaining ones. This is Johnson and Jones. So basically this is the way filters work. Now I release the old data. Now I want to sort by sales value, or I can say, okay, I'm interested in this and this. Give me this value. That is it. So that is basically the way it works. The same way we can do for countries. I want only United Kingdom or USA. The same way we can do for quarters. So basically that is what to do if we are to use basic filters. So that ends it. I want to believe this is understood. And the next thing that we want to do is called conditional formatting. Now in conditional formatting, we have something slightly different. Now we can have a set of this data set they are saying here. We can do conditional formatting around this data set. That is, presenting this data in such a way that it meets some certain criteria. In other words, we will want to find out those people, the sales value greater than a particular value, or any of these last names that meets a particular sales value. So that allows us to do something of that nature. So the best bet is we can start by going to the conditional formatting. Then you click on the cell rule and apply whatever you want to do. Now let's go into it. So looking to this, I go to where is conditional formatting again? Yeah, so yes, I have my format here. So you have, this is normal formatting, basic formatting, whatever format you want to do, you can do from here. You can do conditional formatting from here. Now I click here and I tell the system that, okay, I want values greater than maybe 5,000. And I click OK. I want the system to make the whole thing red. Yeah, because I did not choose. I need to release the filter. Where is data? I release the filter. Okay. Then conditional formatting. I go home. And here, can do. For example, if I choose this, can you see? This is using color scales. So I would rather choose green, yellow, red, something of this nature. So sales value is red, means It says value is very low. Is green means it's very high. So anyone in between means it lies between the lowest and the highest value. So basically, this is what continuous family formatting is all about. Now, if we do not want to use colors, we can say, let me go back. That is from here. That is using gradients. Now we used color before. Now we want to use bar. Can you see the way that is? This is using gradient, which sounds very interesting. It looks at the entire data, assume this is the largest, then considers the other. So maybe looking at this, you know which is the biggest and which is not. So that is another way of presenting it. We can use icon also instead of that. Now we can choose to, let me go back on this guy. Now we can use icons. That is this or this. If I choose this, for example, the system is aware of the fact that, okay, this is an increase, this is an increase. Now this value, the system would have taken a particular value as an average. So this is lower than that value. This is the value. This is the value. This is the value. This is the value. So they are in the same range of what the system is looking at. But anything higher than this range is seen as green. Anything lower than that range is seen as red. So it depends on the perspective. And you can do any rule by yourself. You can do top 10 items, top 10%. So all these are things that the system allows you to do based on what you may want to do. But as you get along into the advanced part of data analytics, for some of you that will go into data analytics in life, you will understand more about this. Now the next thing that we want to do, the next one that I want to talk about is charts. So we want to relate this to charts. So I'm going to undo this and talk about charts. I've highlighted the whole thing, and I come here in charts. I have all my charts icons here. I'll start with this guy. I say, okay, I want this. He's giving me this because the whole thing is highlighted. So I've not told the system anything. Now, all I can do is pick two. If I pick this two, for example, you'll say now, can you see now? So I have something better to look at. And at the top here, you have different, these still the same graph, but different presentation of the same graph. So you can choose. Now, you can come here and change the layout. Change the layout to whatever you want. Can change the layout to maybe this one. I see it changing. So it depends on anyone that is of interest to you. Yeah, something like that. So you can keep changing until you arrive at, you can change the color combinations. You want to choose this, it's up to you. So this is how charting works. Now if I go back and decided to say, okay, I want the data by country, or let me highlight the three. If I highlight the whole thing, I'm going to have challenges. Now I'm telling the system to recommend for me. If I click on this, the system will recommend various combinations for me, as you can see, because I've highlighted the whole thing. So the system has split Q1, Q2. If I choose this, I click OK. The system has split it for me, and a summarized version of the data is given here. So this is basically, it's as simple as this. And so from here, you can decide to say, okay, you want axis, okay. This is axis here. Click on it. Type axis. Axis Y, whatever it is. fine. So axis X, click on it, this X, like that. So you can come back here, just click, change the color, put a label there. You can see there's a label there. I've not clicked, but I'm just looking at it. If I open this, I put the label inside. You can see inside, label at the base, label outside, and call out. More so there's so many things that you can do. Now for the data, if you want to include the data, you have a choice. If I click on this with keys, no legend keys, and the like. Now if you go with this, so there are so many things you can do. You can bring in your legend if you so wish. Now let's go back to sheet 1. This time around, I want to bring in another one. I'm going back to the recommended chart. If you choose this one, you have some. So if you choose this combination, this is bringing together the two countries A and B, as you can see from here, the two countries A and B and the bars. Now with this, you can do analysis perfectly. The data is here for you, and this is a summarized version. So the same way you can change the axis, change all these variables depending on what you want. You can come back here and change the chart type. Okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, whatever it is. Okay, so the next chart type, the next thing for us to talk about is pivot table. How do we pivot? How do we run pivot table for summaries? Pivot tables has to do with summarizing a table. Now, I want to summarize this table. Instead of having Brown, 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 or John repeating, none will be repeating. No quarter will be repeating. And United States, country, no country will be repeating. So we can do a summary by country, summary by quarter, summarize sales by name. So to do that, I highlight the data, and I go to pivots. To pivots, where is pivot now? Where is pivot? I go to pivots and insert, so pivot table. So because I've highlighted this end, it gives me this. Now, where do I want to place the pivots table? Either here or somewhere else. But I want to place it here. If I'm putting it here, I have to tell the system where to put it. So I want it to be here. So I'll click OK. So if I choose country now, it gives me only UK and USA without repetition. Now if I want summarized sales values for the two countries, I just click this instead of having long whatever. So now I have a summarized version. I can copy this now as it is, paste it here on the presentation anywhere as this. So I'll just do OK, country. I do this sales value. So you can do whatever I want to do with this from here. Now I go back to this. I want to change this now. Now instead of having country and sales, I want to do sales by quarter. I click quarter, I can see quarter 1, 2, 3. Nothing is repeating itself. So what is the sales? Those are the values. So I copy the same way, and I placed it anyhow, whatever I wanted. Then I come here and do quarter. This is sales. That's it. So the same way, if I need to do by last name, by the resources, sales value, same way, same thing. There is no difference. There is no difference. So basically, that is the way this one runs. Now, there could be another perspective to it. We may want to pick these people. We want to see the sales by region and maybe by any two, a combination of two. We want to see the sales, these people's sales country. So I'll bring in country into it. If I click country now, country comes in here. I have country here. Now if you look at down here, I can see that the whole thing is not well arranged this way. So I'll move this from being a row. I want country to be a column. Like brown now should give me how much was sold in the United States for brown. How much was sold in the UK for brown. So I'll drag this to column. That gives us what we want. That gives us what we want. So we can take the whole of this and say, okay, let me paste it here. So I have last name. I have the countries. Oh, this brown did not sell anything in the UK, sold this in the US, Johnson sold this in the UK, and sold this in the US. So in the same way, we can find out the sales between last name and quarters. We can find out between countries and quarters. So depending on whatever we are looking at. So if, for example, this is USA now, I want the system to give us, even though these are two countries, the quarter by quarter values for those countries. I'll go back there, just click anywhere here, this comes up, I bring in the quarter. Now I'll take the quarter also to, where do I want to keep it? Let's try it here first. Now can you see, brown in the UK sold nothing in quarter one, nothing in quarter two, nothing up to the fourth quarter until, nothing in the fourth quarter. Now, what's his name? In the US, the same brown did not have first quarter, but got second quarter and fourth quarter. Johnson did not sell anything in quarter one, but sold in quarter two. And no sales in quarter three and four. And this total sale for UK. Then for US, no sales in quarter one, no sales in quarter two, no sales in quarter three, but quarter four. So in that manner. Now we can bring this guy down and say, okay, we want this to be down here. So it depends on whatever we want to see. Okay. So now the next one is to talk about tables. All that we've been doing all along is around tables, tables, tables. What do we do with tables other than to sort tables and look at the columns, do some small summation and the rest with tables. Let me delete all these ones. Now I'm going back to these tables. Let me lift this and put it at the center. Okay, so now if here I want total, here I want the average, here I want the maximum, then I want the minimum. So what I will do is total sales is sum. So I come here and do the sum. Average sales, average sales, and that's the whole thing. Minimum, double click, highlight the whole thing. Maximum value, max. Double click. That's it. This is the way table works. So you can do a whole lot of things with tables. You can highlight, right click on it, Then format cell. I want a border. I want a border. Okay, so I've inserted lines there. I'm going to right click on it again. I go back to format cell. Then here can change the font from here. Can do alignment here and whatever it is that is of interest. Okay, so now that speak to tables. That speak to tables. The next thing that we may want to do on tables is that as we have this here now, I want you to watch. Then I go to then we go to table style option. So this is if I'm creating a table, but we are not creating any table here now. Table style option. I'm trying to see the possibility of, yeah, I want us to do, this is recommended pivot charts. Same way, this one has done almost everything I've done before. But instead of doing it manually, the system is doing it automatically for us. All right. So, so far, I think this is what we want to do for now. Those of us that will go into the advanced stage, will have the opportunity of playing around with more objects, more data analytic. Okay. Okay. Now the next thing is to talk about what we call what if scenario. What if scenario? What if scenario? Now, for us to do this, I'm going to bring in a particular data set to use. So I want to have another data set to use for that purpose. So when we talk of what if scenario, we are talking about that part of Excel that allows you to try out different values of a scenario, of different values of scenarios for formulas, just to be sure you have taken the best approach. So we're going to use this as an example. Here's the data. Okay, yes, I have a data set here. I need to, let me copy the whole of this and drop it on our Excel sheet. Now I'm putting that here. Now on this Excel sheet here, I have this. Now what we are saying is this: we have total number of books is it because of that is this one, 100. Percentage sold is this. If I click on percentage sold and I drop 30, 23, values down changes. Now if I change anything down, this is 20. All the other values too will change. So what we are saying is this. We want to play around with this scenario and take a position of what is possible as profit. What is possible as profit. Now, the first thing we want to do, let me take this, let me take it back to, okay, yeah. So this is what was brought in. So we have this, they are static, but this is changing. That means the number of books sold could be changing. The cost too. This is the cost of a unit of books. You can sell at a high price of 60, you can sell at a low price of 40. But we want to make profit at a particular point in time. How do we arrive at the best step? Which step do we take? Like how many of them do we sell? Remember, they are the same books. We are talking about the same book. How many of them do we sell at highest price, and how many do we sell at lowest price to be able to say that we are realizing the best of profit? That is what this scenario is all about. So the first step is to on the data tab in the forecast group, click on what if analysis. Can you see that? What if analysis. I saw it here a while ago. On data tab. Yeah, this is it here. What if analysis. Scenario manager. So it gives us this. That is what you get. That is what you get for scenario manager. Now, what we want to do now is, after adding the scenario manager, we want to add a scenario to it. Just a scenario. So we add the highest value, we add the lowest value, and we add the highest value. The cells that is changing will tell the system. So let's see the highest value. So we want to add a scenario, a new scenario. Scenario name, we'll give it a name. That is 60%. That's the highest is 60%, 60% highest. So what is changing? The changing thing there is C4, is this one, the percentage of the prices that we are going to sell. So the changing stuff is this. Now after choosing the changing stuff, you can add a comment if you so desire. When you add a comment, you can add the corresponding value. If you don't want to add the percentage, you can add 0.6 in case you want to in the cell. So it's up to you. Now you can prevent changes to it if you want to. So created by this is by default, so you can change the comments if you like. Then we have this. If I click OK now, it gives me this, which is the same as 60%. Enter values for each of the changing cells. Enter values for each of the changing cells. Remember that we're looking at 60. You can look at 70, 80, 90, 100. So those ones could be various scenarios. You don't want to make a profit lower than 60. So I want to add another one to it. 70. 70 highest. 70 highest. Same way. 0.7. Can you see the problem? Can add to it 80 highest. Um, 0.8. 80 is 0.8. So these are the things that are of interest to us. Oh, I want to change this to no percentage there. I need to edit it. Should be percent. Then this one too. Then the next one is 0.9. Um, 90% highest. Highest could be 90, could be 80, could be whatever it is. So I just want us to be as realistic as possible. This is 0.9. Then 100%. This is 1.0. Okay, so now we are done with that. After doing all those, adding all those scenarios, the next thing is to click the show button. Excel will change the value of the cells in 4 accordingly to see the corresponding results sheet. Okay, I want for 60. Sure. Can you see that? This is, you must sell 60 of the books at high price and the other ones at low price. You are selling the same book, some for $50, some for $20. So now if I go to the next one and I say show, you can see that it has changed to 70. So you must sell 60% of this, 30% of this, 30 of this, 60 of that. If I go to this guy, how much should I sell? Show. So if I sell at 90, I'm realizing this profit. If I sell at 100, for example, I'm realizing 5,000. If I sell at 60, sure, I'm realizing 3,800. So it depends on how much of profit that is of interest to you. So that is a way of managing scenarios. Now, we want to see the scenario summaries. What is the summary of our scenario? All you need to do is to click on the summary button in the scenario manager, and that gives us the position. So let's quickly do that. Here we have the summary. Where do we want the system to put it? D10, where is D10? Do we want it on D10? D10. Do I want D10? No, we can't place it on D10. We cannot place it on D10. But the results normally should be on D10 anyway, because it's money that we're talking about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dollar sign here to show that, to say that it's going to be D10 for all. Dollar sign G, dollar sign 10. Okay, now you can run this scenario in two ways. You can make it to be summary, you can do a pivot report. So I'm doing summary, this is the summary now. It says to me that my result will be in D10 and the changes cell is in C4. If I have the changes cell, which is the expected percentage, to 60, I make this money. 60 here, I make this money. 70 here, I make this money. 90, I make this money. This is these are different values. Oh, this is supposed to be 80. Yeah, this was a mistake. This is supposed to be 80. So basically, that is what scenario is. This is what is called scenario, what if scenario. Okay. Now the next thing that we want to do is to look at a solver. Is to consider a solver. We want to use a solver next just to solve the problem. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that, and what are the conditions responsible for every step taken? Now, we use solver when you have limited resources or you want to make a decision out of several possibilities, but there are constraints. When there are constraints, we talk about we make use of, oh, okay, I just realized that my result is not showing. So I'm going to move the result into this sheet here. Yes, so that is the result. The result of this what if analysis. That's what if scenario. Okay, now talking about what if, we've done that. Now talking about solver, I'm going to show us a particular data set that represents a problem that will see the constraints. Now we need to deal with a solution to the problem. So I have a cycle trader data here, a cycle trader. So I want to use that data to take the right step, just as a way of explaining, of using solver. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop it on the same, I need to take this guy away. Yes, I'm going to drop it on the same Excel sheet that we'll be using. So I'll open another one. I drop this one here. I call this solver. That is solver. Then now what the scenario is saying is this. We have a cycle trader. This person sells bicycles. He can sell 100. He sells bicycle, sells mopeds, and sells child seats. So he can sell 100 bicycle, 300 mopeds, and 50 child seats, and realize okay, these are the unit prices. Sorry, these are the unit prices of bicycles, this. And for him to realize profit here, you need to decide on the order. So if the order is 1, you will say, as I change this to 1, this changes. If it sells 1, can you see? The profit is $100. If it sells 1 here of moped, it's 400. If you sell 1 of this, it's 450. So how many of these should be sold? How many of moped should be sold? How many of chassis should be sold to maximize profit? That is the problem that we want to solve. We want to maximize profit, but we don't know how many of these guys we are going to sell. But there are constraints. The constraint is the capital, what he has in his hand to prepare the bicycle, what he has in his hand to prepare the mopeds and the child seat. Again, after buying those things, the other constraint he has was the storage. If I'm buying raw materials, where am I keeping them? If I'm even buying produced materials, where am I going to keep it? So, it's getting all this. So how many, what are the combinations? What's the combination that must be used? Because his capital cannot go beyond 93,000, as stated here. 93,000. And his space cannot go beyond 101. So those are constraints. And this is what we use a solver for. When a question relates to constraints, then the best way out is to use a solver. Now, check your computer if you have Excel solvers. If there is no solver, you have to go to Excel add-in. Excel add-in, and then add it to it. Now let me show us how to get that done. So I'll go to File. Options. Okay. So still on our Excel server. So based on what I've been explained, now let's go into it. Now we need to get our add-in. I don't think I have it here too. So I need to go here, go to options. Yeah, it gives me this. So I go to add-ins. You see something here. It's coming. Okay, solver add-in. This is it here. So all you need to do is to click and tell the system to add it. So that is basically how it works. Again, if you have forgotten how to get there, it's simple. Just go to your data, your file, click option, add in, select solver add in, then click on go button. Okay, so I can quickly do that again. Options, add in, come here, I do Excel add in, go. It gives me this. Then I can pick what I want. I need a solver. We are coming back for this one, so let me just pick it right away. So you'll see it now. Yes, you can see by the side now here. So now we have our solver ready. We have our Excel ready. So let's go ahead and find a solution to the problem. To make it easier to understand, let's create some stuff. If just to drive it home, but I don't think it's different from the way I've explained it. So I want us to solve the problem. How many bicycles do we need? How many mopeds do we need? How many of each of those stuff do we need to make how many of each of those do we need to make things work? So basically, this is what we need to do. So you click on your solver, click on your solver. With this, I click on the solver. Yeah, this gives me the solver. Now with the solver clicked, what do I want? What is of interest to me? The total profit. That is the objective. So my objective is the total profit, which can also be our starting point. So I go in there and I say, okay, this is it. That's my objective. That is my objective. Okay, so now I have a choice whether I want to maximize or minimize, or I want to find what works for a particular value. Depends on the situation. But in this case, I want to maximize my profit. I want to know how many bicycles should be sold, how many. So I'm going to leave this as maximum. How many should be sold is what's of interest to me, so that I can maximize my profit. Now the next thing is to choose the changing cells. What is the changing cells? This is where these are the ones changing. So I'll come here. My changing cells are these guys, these two. Sorry. Yeah, they'll be on the server by default. As I highlighted them all, the server has taken care of them already. Now the next thing is to tell my server that, okay, I'm doing this, but I have some constraints. What are the constraints? So I go to the constraints and pick what works. So let's go there. Resource used less than or equal to resource available. So resource used, this is the resource used. Add this to less than or equal to resources available. Add, and that's okay. All right. before, but there's no point. Now we have that. The next thing is to now tell the system to give us a report. To solve the problem, give us a report and advise us accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to have so the system is going to give us this. So don't forget, I can decide to take it again so that we'll have understanding. The total profit that is of interest to us is this. We get that by clicking on this and click on the total profit here. The maximum, because my objective is to maximize profit, so I click on profit here. Then what is changing? These are the things changing. These are the things that I sell. So I want to know how much of this combination that I have to sell to maximize my profit. Now, what am I selling? What I'm going to sell should be less than what is available. That is my constraint. Then by default, I'm using simplex. Then I click on this. It gives me this. Keep the server solution. Print a report. If you are going to keep the solution, you can print all these reports to give you better insight to what the result is saying. I click OK. Now, something has happened to my report. You can see this has been added, this has been added, this has been added, and this has been added. So it has given me that for me to maximize my profit at 25,600, I need to sell 94 bicycles, 54 mopeds, and 0 child seats. So that is the solution. Now, if I go to the report here, I have different combinations, which is the same thing as all I had there. It's just a report. This is that value. This is the combinations. This is the one that we are not taking. Now, if you go to the sensitivity report, for us to have something nice, we have all this. Final value is 94.54. Reduced cost is this. Objective coefficient. These are basic things which we are going to learn for those of us that are going to advance our analytics at a data stage. But this is just a report for now. This is the limit report. So that solves the problem. So we need to sell this, which is what we want to do. Just to solve this, nothing else. Okay. So just in case we have further questions, we can send it across. You can contact. You can just contact the videos. I believe all your questions will have been answered. Thank you.